You're going through your change after a quick stop at the gas station. A dime slips through your fingers and lands on the counter with that familiar metallic sound. It looks like any other dime you've handled thousands of times. But what if I told you that one simple 1975 dime, yes, a coin that's worth only 10 cents in its intended form, could actually be hiding an error so valuable that collectors would pay anywhere from $55,000 to as much as $132,000 for it? Suddenly, that little piece of pocket change transforms from being a coin you wouldn't bend down to pick up off the floor into something that could change your entire financial outlook. That's the magic of numismatics, and the story of the 1975 US one-dime error coin is one of the most captivating in American coin history. Let's set the stage. The year is 1975. Gerald Ford is president. The Vietnam War has just come to an end. America is preparing for its bicentennial the following year, and the U.S. Mint is busy producing coins for everyday circulation. Millions of dimes were struck in 1975, just like in other years, intended to keep commerce moving smoothly. But what few people realized then, and what collectors know now, is that something unusual happened during that production year. Among the countless ordinary dimes, a handful emerged with strange, unintended characteristics that would make them some of the most sought-after coins of their era. You might be wondering what makes these 1975 dime errors so special. The answer lies in the minting process itself. Coins are created using dies, metal stamps that imprint the design onto a blank piece of metal, called a planchet. When the dies are made correctly, everything from the year to the mint mark to the inscriptions and images appears crisp and consistent. But if even the smallest mistake happens in die preparation or striking, the resulting coin can bear noticeable flaws. Sometimes those flaws are subtle, like doubling of the letters or numbers. Other times, they're dramatic, off-center strikes, missing elements, or design distortions. In the case of the 1975 dime error coins, collectors have discovered anomalies that range from missing mint marks to doubled features and unusual strike characteristics. It's important to note that 1975 dimes hold a unique place in coin history even without errors. That's because no dimes were ever struck bearing the 1975 S-proof mint mark for general release. Instead, the mint transitioned directly to bicentennial designs the following year, making any surviving 1,975 coins with errors stand out even more. That rarity is what sends collectors into a frenzy when one of these dimes appears on the market. Imagine the excitement of stumbling across a coin that, while looking similar to every other dime, actually stands apart as a true rarity. The value of these coins is not just hypothetical. Auction records have proven time and again that 1975 dime error coins can command jaw-dropping prices. Collectors have paid anywhere between $55,000 and $132,000 depending on the coin's condition, the visibility of its error, and the demand at the time. Just pause for a second and think about that. 10 cents becoming more valuable than some luxury cars, more valuable than years of hard-earned savings, more valuable than many people's entire retirement accounts. And all because of a tiny imperfection. What makes this even more thrilling is that these coins aren't locked away in a museum. They're out there, in circulation, hiding in plain sight. The idea that someone might unknowingly use a 1975 dime error at a vending machine, pay for a parking meter with it, or drop it into a change jar without realizing its true worth, that's what keeps coin collectors scanning every dime they encounter. And who could blame them? With the potential to discover a coin worth over $100,000, the hunt becomes an irresistible adventure. Now, picture yourself at an auction house. The atmosphere is electric, the room filled with eager bidders, all with their eyes fixed on one small coin displayed under bright lights. The auctioneer announces it as a 1975 US dime error, one of the few known to exist. The opening bid starts in the tens of thousands, and before long, hands shoot up all around the room. The numbers climb higher and higher. $55, $000, $70,000, $90,000. The tension builds as collectors push their limits, knowing this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Finally, the hammer comes down at $132,000, and the room erupts with applause. For the winning bidder, that coin isn't just metal. It's history, rarity, and pride all wrapped into one. But the story of the 1975 dime error is also a lesson in perspective. It challenges us to rethink the value of everyday objects. How many times have we dismissed coins as trivial, shoving them into jars or leaving them forgotten in the car console? Yet, among those overlooked pieces of change, one coin could hold the power to completely shift someone's life. That's part of the allure. It's not just about money. It's about the thrill of knowing something so ordinary could be hiding something extraordinary. Collectors often say the true joy lies in the hunt, not just the ownership. Every 1975 dime they examine carries the hope of finding that elusive error. It's the kind of passion that drives people to spend hours poring over coins, studying mint marks, inspecting strikes under magnification. And for those who finally uncover a rare gem, the reward is twofold: the financial windfall and the indescribable thrill of discovery. Imagine telling your friends and family, "This little dime in my hand is worth $132,000. The disbelief, the shock, the awe, those moments are priceless. And yet, as with any treasure hunt, not everyone will strike gold. Many people will check hundreds of coins and find nothing unusual. But that's the beauty of it. It's the rarity that makes it so special. The very fact that only a handful of 1975 dime errors exist is what pushes their value into such staggering territory. If every coin were rare, none of them would be valuable. It's scarcity combined with demand that creates this perfect storm of desirability. When you think about it, the story of the 1975 dime error is about more than numismatics. It's about history, chance, and human nature. History because it ties back to the mint's processes and decisions in the 1970s. Chance because no one planned these errors, they were accidents born from imperfections in the system. And human nature because it's our instinct to seek, to collect, to own something unique that sets us apart from everyone else. Put those three together, and you have the makings of a legendary coin story. So the next time you come across a dime from 1975, don't just toss it aside. Take a closer look. Inspect the mint mark, study the details, and ask yourself, could this be one of the rare treasures worth between $55,000 and $132,000? Because someone, somewhere, will eventually stumble upon one without even realizing it. And that someone could just as easily be you. The 1975 dime error stands as proof that life-changing value can hide in the most unexpected places. That pocket change you ignore might just hold a small piece of American history and a fortune in disguise. And who knows? The next coin you examine could be the beginning of your own numismatic adventure. Imagine holding a dime from 1981 in your hand. At first glance, it looks like any other coin you might toss into a jar, spend at a vending machine, or use to complete a transaction without even a second thought. But what if I told you that some 1981 US 1-dime coins, with rare and striking minting errors, have become some of the most sought-after treasures in the world of coin collecting? These unassuming dimes, overlooked by countless people over the years, have shown up at auctions and shocked collectors with values reaching between $50,000 and $120,000. Think about that for a moment. What most people consider pocket change could be hiding in plain sight as a fortune waiting to be discovered. The story of the 1981 dime error coin is one of those fascinating tales where history, craftsmanship, and imperfection collide to create something truly extraordinary. To appreciate why these dimes are so valuable, we first need to understand how coins are made and why mint errors are so intriguing. The US Mint operates under extreme precision, with dies striking blanks at high speeds to churn out millions of identical coins every year. Yet, every now and then, something unexpected happens. A slight misalignment of the die, a double strike, a missing design element, or even a dramatic off-center strike can transform a common coin into a rarity that captures the imagination of collectors everywhere. In 1981, millions of dimes were minted, and the vast majority of them are worth just 10 cents today. But a small handful came off the presses with errors that made them unique. Some of these dimes featured doubled images where details appear blurry or doubled, while others might have missing parts of the design or misstruck lettering. There are even examples of coins struck slightly off-center, leaving parts of the blank exposed. These are not defects in the sense of being damaged later, they are authentic mint errors, and that makes all the difference. When you combine rarity with authenticity, suddenly you have a dime that isn't worth 10 cents. It's worth tens of thousands of dollars. Collectors value rarity above almost everything else, and that's exactly why the 1981 dime-era coin commands such high prices. Imagine sitting at an auction, watching the room grow tense as one of these rare dimes is revealed. The auctioneer starts the bidding, and hands shoot up as collectors eagerly compete. 10,000, 20,000, 30,000. The numbers climb higher and higher until the final gavel falls. And in some cases, that gavel has fallen with a winning bid of $50,000, or even as high as $120,000. That's enough to buy a luxury car, pay off a mortgage, or change someone's financial situation overnight. All from a single small coin that once traveled unnoticed through everyday commerce. What makes the 1981 dime era so fascinating is that it represents the unexpected in life. Most of us handle coins every day without paying much attention. We see them as common, unremarkable, even disposable. But this dime reminds us that even in the most ordinary things, extraordinary value can be hiding. Imagine the thrill of someone discovering one of these error coins in a drawer, a coin jar, or even as change from a store. That realization that something you thought was worth only 10 cents could actually be worth up to $120,000 is the kind of moment collectors dream about. And it's not just about the money, though the financial value is undeniably appealing. It's about the story. Every error coin carries a narrative of how it came to be, how the minting process faltered for just an instant, and how that mistake created something one of a kind. That story gives the coin character, and that character is what collectors crave. Owning a 1981 dime error isn't just about having an expensive item. It's about holding a piece of history, a tangible artifact that connects you to a moment when imperfection gave birth to something extraordinary. There's also a psychological element to this fascination. The allure of treasure hunting is embedded deep in human nature, and error coins are modern-day treasures. Collectors often describe the excitement of searching through rolls of coins, scanning each one with careful eyes, hoping to spot the slight difference that signals rarity. The 1981 dime error, with its incredible value of $50,000 to $120,000, adds fuel to that passion. Keeps the hunt alive, reminding everyone that the next big discovery might be just a handful of change away. Now, let's step back for a moment and think about the symbolism of this coin. The dime is small, almost unremarkable compared to larger coins. Yet this tiny piece of metal holds immense worth because of its imperfections. It's almost poetic, isn't it? The idea that something flawed can be more valuable than something perfect. In a way, the 1981 dime error is a metaphor for life itself. Sometimes it's our mistakes, our quirks, or our differences that make us truly valuable. That's why collectors don't just see it as money. They see it as art, history, and philosophy combined into a single coin. Consider the ripple effect of these coins on the collecting community. When word spreads that a 1981 dime error sold for six figures, it sparks excitement across the hobby. New collectors enter the scene, longtime collectors intensify their searches, and the demand grows even stronger. It's a cycle that drives the value even higher, ensuring that these dimes will remain legendary for years to come. And with every story told, every article published, and every auction held, the mystique of the 1981 error dime continues to grow. Imagine being the person who finds one. You take a dime from your change, notice something odd about the design, and after a bit of research, you realize you're holding a coin worth $50,000 to $120,000. The adrenaline rush would be unforgettable. It's the kind of story you'd tell for the rest of your life, the kind that friends and family would marvel at. And even if you decided to sell it, the memory of that discovery would be priceless. So what should people do? The answer is simple. Look closely. Don't dismiss coins as mere change. Every dime, penny, or quarter could hold a secret. The 1981 dime error proves that fortune can hide in the smallest of places. Keep an eye out for unusual markings, off-center strikes, doubling in the design, or anything that looks different from a standard coin. And if you're unsure, seek the advice of a numismatist or coin dealer. Sometimes the difference between pocket change and a six-figure treasure is just knowledge and awareness. The story of the 1981 dime error is more than just about money. It's about curiosity, discovery, and the value of looking deeper. It teaches us that even in a world where millions of coins are minted, uniqueness still holds power. It's a reminder that we should never underestimate the small things, because within them may lie something greater than we ever imagined as collectors continue to chase these rare finds. One thing is certain. The legend of the 1981 dime era will only grow, with values soaring between $50,000 and $120,000. It's one of those rare treasures that blurs the line between currency and artifact, between money and magic. And who knows? Maybe right now, hidden among the coins in your pocket or a jar on your shelf, there's a tiny dime waiting to change. Think about the coins you use every single day. You reach into your pocket, maybe dig through a jar on your dresser, or even pull one out of your car's cup holder. You see dimes, pennies, quarters, and most of the time you barely even glance at them. They're just small pieces of metal we exchange for coffee, parking meters, or whatever spare change we happen to need. But what if I told you that one of those ordinary-looking dimes, specifically a 1995 US 1-dime coin with a rare mint error, could be worth as much as $40,000 to $110,000? That's right. Just 10 cents transformed into the value of a luxury car or even a life-changing sum of money. It sounds unbelievable, but that's the magic of numismatics, the world of coin collecting, where history, rarity, and imperfection combine to create treasures hiding in plain sight. The 1995 dime is fascinating because it represents a year that most people would never expect to hold numismatic surprises. By then, the US Mint was highly advanced in its technology, and errors were becoming less common compared to older decades. But mistakes did happen, and when they did, they produced coins that slipped quietly into circulation, unnoticed by nearly everyone. These 1995 error dimes are the perfect example. To the untrained eye, they might look slightly odd, maybe even damaged, but to collectors, those unusual details mean rarity, and rarity means value. Now, let's talk about why these error coins are worth so much. When coins are minted, they're created by striking blank pieces of metal with dies that hold the designs. A flawless strike creates a perfect coin, but sometimes errors sneak in. With the 1995 dime, certain coins display off-center strikes, die cracks, doubling, or even misaligned designs that make them stand out. These errors are not intentional, they're accidents of the minting process, but because they're so rare, collectors see them as gems. Imagine holding a coin in your hand where Roosevelt's portrait is shifted, or the lettering appears doubled, or a die clash creates ghostly patterns on the surface. These are the imperfections that transform a 10-cent piece into something extraordinary. Why does that matter so much to collectors? It all comes down to rarity and story. Millions of 1995 dimes rolled out of the mint, but only a tiny fraction contain these rare errors. That scarcity creates demand, and when demand meets rarity, the prices climb. At major auctions, some of these error coins have fetched between $40,000 and $110,000, shocking even seasoned collectors. Think about that for a moment. A coin you could have easily overlooked in your change could suddenly become the kind of discovery that changes your financial future. Imagine this scenario. You're emptying out your piggy bank or rolling up spare change to take to the bank. You're halfway through the pile when something catches your eye. The dime in your hand looks a little off. The image seems shifted, the lettering isn't exactly where it should be, or maybe the strike looks faint and unusual. At first, you think it's just worn down or damaged. But then, with a bit of research, you realize what you're actually holding is a 1995 error dime. Suddenly, your heart races as you think about what you've found. That small piece of silver-colored metal could be worth tens of thousands of dollars. From pocket change to $110,000. It's the kind of discovery most people dream about. Collectors often describe these finds as lightning in a bottle. The idea that a coin as small and overlooked as a dime could carry such staggering value adds an irresistible thrill to the hunt. And it's not just about the money. There's also the historical fascination. Each error coin tells a story about the minting process, about the year it was struck, and about the journey it has taken through countless hands before finally being recognized for what it truly is. The 1995 dime error coins are time capsules of chance and imperfection, and that story makes them even more appealing. Now, you might wonder why people are willing to pay so much for these coins. After all, couldn't someone just collect ordinary dimes? Sure, they could. But numismatics is not just about ownership, it's about exclusivity. Owning a rare 1995-era dime means you have something almost no one else in the world possesses. It's like owning a piece of art, a rare gem, or even a one-of-a-kind sports collectible. The prestige and pride of adding such a coin to one's collection is priceless to those passionate about this hobby. That's why bidders drive the price up into the $40,000 to $110,000 range. It's not just about metal. It's about history, rarity, and bragging rights. Picture an auction hall, filled with seasoned collectors, their eyes locked on a rare 1995-era dime displayed under bright lights. The bidding starts and hands shoot up one after another. The numbers climb higher and higher. $10, $000, $20,000, $40,000. Gasps ripple through the room as the price passes $80,000. Finally, the gavel slams down at $110,000, and one collector walks away with a treasure that's both small enough to fit in the palm of their hand and valuable enough to rival a luxury home down payment. That's the kind of drama and excitement this little coin can create. But here's the most exciting part. These coins could still be out there. Unlike some rare coins that are locked away in museums or private collections, the 1995 dime-era coins may still be hiding in circulation. They could be sitting in a coin jar, lying at the bottom of a drawer, or even jingling in someone's pocket as they go about their day. And that means the opportunity is still real for anyone who takes the time to look carefully at their change. That's why collectors and enthusiasts encourage people to pay attention to the details. Look closely at your dimes. Check for misalignments, doubling, off-center strikes, or anything that looks unusual. What may seem like a minor imperfection could actually be a ticket to thousands of dollars. It's about training your eye, educating yourself on what to look for, and never dismissing a coin as just a dime. Think about how incredible it would feel to discover one. Imagine showing your family and friends that a coin they would have used to buy a candy bar is actually worth $40,000 to $110,000. The disbelief, the excitement, and the amazement would be unforgettable. And beyond the money, you'd own a piece of American minting history. A mistake frozen in time that somehow slipped through the cracks and ended up in your hands. The 1995 dime error is a reminder of something powerful. It shows us that even the smallest, most ordinary things in life can carry extraordinary value if you know where to look. It's a lesson in paying attention, in appreciating the details, and in recognizing that hidden treasures often lie just beneath the surface. Every time you hold a dime now, you'll think twice. Could this be one of those rare pieces? Could this tiny coin hold the power to change my life? So the next time you dig through your pocket change or cash out a handful of coins at the grocery store, take a moment to look closer. Because hidden among the countless ordinary dimes might be one of those rare 1995-era coins worth $40,000 to $110,000. And if you're lucky enough to find one, you won't just be holding a piece of change. You'll be holding a piece of history, a work of art born from imperfection, and perhaps the most valuable dime you'll ever see in your lifetime.